Hey guys, welcome to the Vendas B2B Summit. Today we have a international guest, Gaetano Dinardi, VP of Marketing at Sales Hacker, the leading community for modern sales professional, and a huge inspiration for us here at Vendas B2B Academy. Besides being a digital marketing leader, Gaetano is a singer, songwriter, and producer. In the business world, Gaetano has built a reputation as one of the top marketing SEO consultants in the industry, earning results for VC-backed tech startups all the way to Fortune 500 brands. Gaetano, thank you very much and welcome to the summit.
Yeah, thank you guys. I appreciate you having me, and it's really great to be here. So thank you.
So Gaetano, before we start, could you tell us a little bit about your professional background and what you do nowadays in Sales Hacker?
Yeah. So I'll try to keep it short and sweet for you. I started doing marketing for myself as a musician. I was putting albums out. I was putting out videos and all this stuff. And I'm like, man, I got to get it out there. This is pretty hard. So I had to figure out how to do this basically on my own. So like I just started researching like how to do SEO. I was fascinated with like, how do you get traffic to your website without having to pay money to do it? Like, why do you have to pay ads to get traffic? For me, that's like, as an inbound enthusiast, I don't really like that idea. I think, once you start learning like all how the channels work together in marketing in an interrelated fashion, then you start to get the appreciation for paid search and paid marketing. But I was always an inbound enthusiast because when you're a musician and you're broke, uh, you got to figure out how to get traffic. So I started teaching myself about marketing, social media marketing, SEO, content, UX, how to do all these different things. And then I ended up getting my first SEO job at an agency in New York City called iPullRank. And I was doing a lot of SEO there. I got thrown into the weeds deep. Like I wasn't prepared for like how crazy it was going to be. I was doing client campaigns for like Major League Baseball and Granger and all these big enterprisey sites that had millions of pages.
Cool.
So yeah, that was an interesting experience. I was there for a while. And I got tired of the agency grind and I moved on to Pipedrive, a sales B2B CRM platform, pretty reputable company.
Here in Brazil.
Yeah, exactly. Brazil was like one of the biggest audience segments and market share for Pipedrive when I was there. And actually, I was starting to learn a little bit of Portuguese because we had to figure out how to translate landing pages and target Portuguese keywords. So.
Feel free to throw some Portuguese words whenever you want.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to embarrass myself, but if I was better, maybe I would. So yeah, that was a good experience. I was running SEO and content marketing there. And I learned a lot of great skills. I think the Pipedrive team on marketing is so talented, especially the engineers and developers. So learning how to like do the SEO strategy, do the SEO auditing, but then put it into practice because you have to work with developers to really execute technical SEO. It's very rare and almost unicorn-like for somebody to be able to know all the development and super technical aspects of SEO in that way and kind of be like full stack in a sense. So I was really able to learn like a lot about cross-functional collaboration there and so forth. And after I was done with Pipedrive, I was kind of looking for my next opportunity, and I came across Sales Hacker through a blog post that I wrote. That's how I got introduced to Max. I wrote a blog post on inbound.org, found its way to Max, and here I am. So yeah, now I'm running the marketing show at Sales Hacker, and it's been fun.
Great, amazing. So today we're going to talk about lead generation using inbound channels. I'm looking for it because it's not my specialty, so I'm really looking for it. A week ago, 10 days ago, you posted on LinkedIn the results on traffic, keywords, lists on Sales Hacker. And you wrote that there are no growth hacks, no shortcuts or magic bullets.
Exactly.
You guys 3x your overall traffic, 3x your organic traffic, 4x your organic keyword growth, 3x organic keywords in positions 1 to 10.
Right.
7x M1M less growth. That's huge. What was the behind all the growth?
Oh wow. So yeah, man, it was it was a an intense process, but it's not as difficult as people think. I think if I can sum all of it up in like two buckets, it would be give your audience what they want, when they want it, and how they want to be distributed. So how they want to receive that content. And I think the second part of it is like, yeah, like I said, there really is no growth hacks, man. You can't growth hack SEO. You can't get from not ranking to ranking number one for something overnight. And that's what I love about it, because I hear all this stuff on the internet about growth hacking. And I think there's certain algorithms that you can game, like on LinkedIn. You can have like a group of people that you message as soon as you post something, and they can all go like and comment on it and trigger that engagement algorithm to sort of set fire. But you can't game Google. People have tried to do that and it's failed time, and you just can't. And that's why I love it, because like when you're number one for something in Google, you've been vetted, you've been screened. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't fool them. So that's really why I love it so much. And to get back to the original point that I was saying, that you can't growth hack it, how we achieved so much growth was just daily execution, blocking and tackling. Every single day we had a very specific keyword that we were going after. We monitored our content strategy very closely. We filled the gaps in our content strategy based on the different personas we wanted to target with our content. We knew that we wanted to grow the executive segment of our list, so we started putting out more in-depth content, more longer form strategic guides that executives could really dive into and love and enjoy and share with their sales teams. And that was basically it. We just had a very, very specific keyword strategy, and we executed upon that every single day for a year straight. We put out 4 articles a week for a year straight. We went after keywords that weren't too difficult to rank for, and we just built better content than everybody else out there. We compared it to what was number one and said, all right, we're going to do everything we can to beat this. And that's what we did. And that's why we see the results that we got.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And what is next? I know you guys are about to launch a podcast.
Yeah, man. So we are going to launch a podcast. I will share a little bit about it. It's going to be very, very executive focused. Sam Jacobs, who is the former chief revenue officer of The Muse, is going to be running that podcast for us. And I think this is going to be a great thing for us in so many different ways. I think number one of the things that we realized with sales audiences in general, maybe B2B in general, but very particularly for sales, is that salespeople want to consume audio content. They just want it. They need it because they're busy. They don't have time. Reading, sometimes is not always realistic, especially for a busy executive. They may just want to be traveling on the train and pop in a podcast, right? So we surveyed our audience, and we surveyed our entire database, and 90% of our respondents said yes, they want that. So we had no choice. When 90% of your audience says they want something, you got to do it.
Yeah, and we were audio is on the rise.
Right. So we were apprehensive at first. We're like, damn, we already do webinars. We already do ebooks. There's so many podcasts out there. What are we going to do to not just be another podcast? And I think the way we're going to differentiate is make it very, very executive focused. Make it, they're going to be 30-minute sessions. So I think 15, 20-minute podcast sessions are too short. They always leave me wanting more, and they don't get in depth and they're not tactical. I think ours is going to be 30 minutes, but it's going to be really robust. And we're going to have all sales leaders at the C-level that have taken and scaled the company from nothing to IPO or acquisition or whatever the case may be. But that's what's going on with the podcast. And we're really excited about it.
Yeah, me too. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Gaetano, so we have a lot of acquisition channels available. And what I wanted to question you is how to find the right acquisition channel or channels. In your opinion, should a company start doing blog and SEO and SEM and producing ads and biz deving, or is it important to dominate one before moving to another?
Yeah. So finding the right acquisition channels for your business is something that is difficult but achievable to do. And I think it really just all depends, first and foremost, that what stage of growth your company is in. And it also may depend on your team structure. So like if you're a lean startup and you feel that that SEO is going to be a great traction channel for you, but you have zero knowledge of how to do it, you don't have SEO practitioners or expertise on the team, that's going to be a little bit tough. So I think like if you're a startup in that like product market fit stage, what you might want to do is like figure out, okay, what channels have low acquisition costs, high conversion rates, high retention rates, and low churn, and then try to like tie that back to the strengths of the people who are on your team. Maybe the founder of your company is like a wizard when it comes to automating outbound and doing all that. So that might be a channel you want to leverage above others. But there's this framework called the Bullseye framework, and I think that's the best one for determining traction channels for your company. So the idea is like you pick 3 channels and you kind of evaluate them and prioritize them based on like what I kind of just said. And then you test them until you nail that bullseye. So like you have to identify also a traction goal too. So like maybe it's the case that you just need enough traction in a specific channel to like raise a certain amount of money to get to the next part of what you need to do for your business. Or like maybe you're just trying to validate product market fit, or maybe you're just trying to validate a certain kind of messaging for your product. If you're in the position where you're trying to like scale your product a little bit, but you're not sure if messaging is resonating. So like, yeah. And then I think the final thing is you have to, this is probably the most underrated part of it. You have to look at what your competitors are doing and try to find those like underutilized strategies. So like if all your competitors are doing PPC and like it's really expensive to bid on those like beefy head term keywords, or if they're all super saturating the Facebook ad market, like do something else. Go to channel partnerships, like come to Sales Hacker. You know, I'm not trying to, be salesy or push my company out there or whatever, but like that is an option. You know, you can go to a trusted channel partner and break the mold by doing that. Or if you feel that all your competitors have come to Sales Hacker, then go do something else. So yeah, I think that's just kind of like my brief overview of how I would approach determining what traction channels are right for your business.
Amazing. This last one is truly underutilized. People usually do the same thing that all competitors are doing.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of opportunities in other channels.
Exactly.
It's amazing.
Yeah, exactly, man. Like I think that's true even with like once you're in a channel too. So like let's say you're an SEO, right? And it's super competitive and like all your competitors are doing SEO. Then what you would want to do is like not go after the most difficult, expensive, and hardest to rank for keywords. You would want to, align it back to like the business goals, but then find those super long tail sort of obscure searches that maybe have 10 searches or less a month, but that like nobody else is really going after that and you can dominate that. So why wouldn't you want to start there with stuff that you can dominate and then work your way up? That's the right way to approach it.
Great.
Yeah.
What about social media? I've been noticing that the Facebook organic reach is declining, and that the organic reach of LinkedIn is rising. So how you guys as Sales Hacker are navigating these changes, and what is the role of social ads in the Sales Hacker growth?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the role of social media for us has always been really big. And now I think with the rise of LinkedIn, as you've seen, it's even bigger. Now there's something incredible happening with LinkedIn where you can reach new people organically, which was never a possibility. No other social platform is really designed to do this, maybe other than Twitter in some cases. But through the LinkedIn algorithm now, organically, without paying any money, if you put out good quality, engaging content that matters to your audience, and you are able to sort of put this together in a way that tells a story and sparks engagement, you are going to get inbound leads through social selling. You are going to get visibility for your brand. And the way that we're doing this now is we are strategically every week coming up with stories about the content that we're putting out. So like if we put together, I'll give you a perfect example, an actual practical example of what we've done. We put together a long form guide on sales operations. And the way that we've primarily promoted this is not through hitting our email list and emailing people and saying, hey, we mentioned you here. Can you promote it for us? What we've done is we've taken little bits of that guide and put out some of the most sort of eye-opening quotes or problems within sales operations. And we've put that together in a little LinkedIn newsfeed story and asked for people to comment on it and get involved in the conversation. But we post the link to that in the first comment. That's the trick. So if you post the link in the post itself, LinkedIn doesn't like that because they don't want people leaving their platform. But if you post a link in the comment, that's the little trick. But then again, not all users like that, because what happens is you got to unravel all the comments to get to it because it's all the way at the top and you got to go previous, and it's a pain in the ass. But it works because
really
we're
helps
not
on the reach of the post, right?
Exactly. So yeah, Max and I do that every week. Usually Max will promote something, I'll promote something. And between the two of us, we can get 10,000 raw visits to the site just by doing that a week if we hit the right audiences at the right time with the right content.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have to go harder on LinkedIn. I'm living a lot of opportunities there.
Exactly. Like, yeah, it works, man. I think the danger with it though is that some people will expose themselves. Like if they are trying too hard and it's very evident that they're purposely trying to put out very over the top provocative content. Like, social selling sucks, or like cold calling's dead, or SEO's dead. And then they put out all these ridiculous things that follow just because they want to stir the pot. I think that will make you look bad. So don't do that.
There's a lot of people doing that.
Yeah, it's getting out of hand, I think. And I know you've seen this too. Those like one line space. And there's no value to them. It's like, I slept in my mom's car when I was first starting. Then I did this. Then I did that. I was broke. So on and so on and so on. My house burned down from a fire. And then at the end of it, it's like, stick to your dreams. Now I'm a successful startup founder. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of this LinkedIn right now.
It's a template.
Sometimes I see the same post, like a personal story, and more than one person
right
posting it. The same thing, yeah.
Yeah, we've taken a stance against that. Like, we do not do that. Like, we put out tactical, actionable tips that are extracted right from our blog post. Like, people know that we're trying to promote our shit, and that's fine. But we don't clickbait, and we don't try to bait you in by those one line sort of teasers that don't really go anywhere. So I wouldn't advise doing that.
Great. Gaetano, I know that you are also an expert on sales enablement, and here in Brazil, I just start to listen to people talking about sales enablement. So could you enlighten us of what is sales enablement and what is the role of content in sales enablement?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so sales enablement is something that like we've been definitely focusing on a lot this year, Sales Hacker, not just internally, but a lot of the partners that we work with are sales enablement vendors in the space, and they're trying to figure out ways to position themselves as leaders in sales enablement to the audience. And it's still a relatively new thing. But the way that I kind of break it down is like sales enablement is a sector or like a sub department within sales operations. And it's broken down by like content. So like with content, you're either producing collateral for your sales team that enables them to sell better, or like very strategic content that is meant to just make the sales process easier for them, whether it's case studies, testimonial videos, so on and so forth, right? So you have that. Then you have this sort of like aligning sales back to the customer research and this concept called jobs to be done. So it's not like when you're on a sales call and you're a rep, you're not just like vomiting product features to your prospect. You're explaining to the prospect what problem your product will actually solve for them. And doing this customer research and this jobs to be done framework helps determine that. And then sales reps are able to use that messaging and ammunition during the sales process to better fit the needs that their prospects are looking for on these calls. And they're not just, vomiting product features and getting nowhere. Then there's this component of like training and coaching, which is becoming huge now in B2B sales. And I think coaching has become revolutionized lately with like AI and sort of the new tech that's rapidly evolving in this. And I hate to be one of these people that just says rah rah rah, AI is this, AI is that, but it's actually true in the case of training and coaching.
We're actually having Chris from Gong.io in the event.
Mm-hmm. Are you guys using that? Are you familiar with Gong?
I haven't used yet.
Okay.
I read all the research and everything they post.
Right.
It's amazing.
Yeah, Gong is impressive. Like they're for full disclosure, they're a Sales Hacker partner, but I think they are taking product marketing to the next level. They are so good with not framing their product in a way that seems like, okay, there's so many problems that you have in your sales process, and the only way to fix it is by using Gong. They don't do that. What they do is they use the insights and data that the tool gives them, and they simply report it. That's all they do. They report what the tool does, but it's interesting, unique research, and it all is relevant. And like, if I'm a C-level executive and I see like, okay, this is how you close the sales gap performance in your reps by, shortening talk time and increasing listen time by this, or not saying these certain phrases at this stage of the call, or whatever the case is, I'm going to be very interested in exploring that. Right. So that's how like training and coaching is getting revolutionized. And and I think like the final component of it is just like measurement and metrics and growth. Like now it's not just about like filling pipeline just for the sake of filling pipeline. Like a sales operations manager is going to help, first of all, that pipeline get filled more efficiently, more effectively through, tools and automation, but also help like eliminate those tedious tasks. Like there should be no rep in the world that is manually entering data into their CRM. Like that should never be happening. So that's kind of like my quick 2-minute, 3-minute breakdown of sales enablement. It's hard to maybe explain it in depth in that short amount of time, but that's kind of my explanation for you.
I think it was very clear. And it's something that we have to evolve here in Brazil. I think sales ops is something that we just, as sales operations, is just starting to also to work.
Mm-hmm.
I had an amazing conversation with Doug Landis about sales ops.
He's awesome.
Yeah, and I think it's something that the market's starting to pay attention, and also with sales enablement. So Gaetano, can you tell us one final hack about sales or marketing that you used this last year that generated great results for you guys at Sales Hacker?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure. So I guess I'll just ramble out a few of them if I can.
Great.
If I can not sound too brain dumpy here. I think it depends on your goals, of course, but like for Sales Hacker, one of the things that we wanted to do was improve the messaging on our site, and then based on that messaging, figure out how to use that to like entice people to want to join the email list. Like basically improve the unique value prop that everyone sees when they come to the homepage. So the first thing we did was, I did this actually, not to toot my own horn, but like I might as well just say that it was me. So like I hate when people say like, yeah, we did this. Like, what is we? Who is we? Be specific, So yeah, I interviewed customers, both on the partner side for us and the audience side. And I basically just like asked really open-ended questions to kind of get them to explain what is Sales Hacker. And one of the questions that I asked that gave us like such amazing results was like, how would you explain Sales Hacker to your grandma? And like that really got the conversation started. So like I did that. I did 1-hour interviews with like 20 people. And then what I did based on the responses was I took all the notes and I put the answers to those questions in a word cloud text analyzer. And I picked out the themes of like the reoccurring words that like kept popping up over and over again and over and over again. And then I used that to adjust the copy on the homepage. And we also added an email capture above the fold on the homepage. So based on doing that, like the engagement skyrocketed, the click-through skyrocketed, the email list sign up skyrocketed just by doing that one little thing. And it was like a week-long process, but it was simple and we did it. So that was one. And then maybe the other thing too is like use virtual assistants if you can. So like that's one of the big things that like is part of this growth hack, sales hack mindset is it's simply just doing more with less. And one of the ways we get around by doing that is we have very, 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 very talented virtual assistants who can knock out tasks for us like crazy. So I build process documentation for everything that we do, whether it's how to use Tout App to scale outreach for like, ticket sales, right? So like I'll have our virtual assistants, build lists and hit people up, high value targets to come to our conferences, because direct outreach seems to have a better impact on like Facebook ads, for example, in this scenario. So yeah, use virtual assistants for more stuff. That's like the best kind of growth hack I can give you besides the one I said about the homepage.
Yeah, for us, it's not that easy. We don't have this virtual assistant market as you guys have there. It's like I know there's a lot of people from other countries that do this work, and that not a lot of people on the road speaks Portuguese. So for us, it's not that easy. So, but we have like freelancers market where some people can help, but we don't have that much access to virtual assistants as you guys. But definitely we can hire someone to help us doing freelancing to help in those points.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you guys are doing the right things though anyway. I mean, even this event that you're doing is going to be huge. You got all the right people from the right companies, the right leaders, and talking about the right topics and subjects, man. You guys are doing a great job. So I would just continue with that, man. If there's one thing I could leave you with, it's just stick with the blocking and tackling. Daily execution is what's going to make the difference.
Thanks, man. Thank you. And thank you very much. It was a pleasure to have you here in the summit. Would you like to, if people want to know more about you and Sales Hacker, where they can find you?
Yeah. So if you want to get in touch with me, learn more about me, just say hi, whatever, you can hit me up on LinkedIn. Just search Gaetano Dinardi on LinkedIn and you'll find me there. You can also go to my website if you want to, stalk me or whatever. Or if you just want to see some of the content that I put out. I run my own blog on SEO.
Or some music, right?
Exactly. Yeah. You can see me like shredding guitar solos. I also write about like music industry stuff and issues and problems there, but you can hit me up on my personal website, officialgaetano.com. And if you just want to learn more about Sales Hacker, see what we do, check out our content, whatever, you can go to saleshacker.com and hit us up there. So look forward to meeting you.
I'm going to link all this here below the video.
All right. Yeah.
Gaetano, thank you very, very much. And I hope to see you here in Brazil soon.
Yeah. I hope I can make it down, man. Appreciate you.
Bye-bye.